Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are exploring one of the most exciting areas of American coin collecting, the legendary Lincoln Wheat Penny. Although this coin has a face value of only 1 cent, some rare examples have become extremely valuable in the collector's market. In today's video, we will discuss the top 5 most valuable United States Lincoln Wheat Penny coins. These coins stand out because of their rare mint marks, unusual minting errors, limited production numbers, and exceptional condition. Over the years, collectors and investors have paid thousands and even millions of dollars for these tiny copper coins at major auctions. By understanding their history and unique features, you may even discover that an old penny in your collection could be worth a fortune. So let's get started. First up, the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary copper penny, but this historic coin represents a significant chapter in American numismatic history. In today's video, we will explore the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny with a D mint mark in fine condition. We will discuss its history, its unique features, its rarity among collectors, and the potential value this coin can achieve in the auction market. Whether you are a coin collector, an investor, or someone who simply enjoys searching through old change, this coin proves that even a small penny can carry big historical and financial significance. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the birth of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, it was the first circulating United States coin to feature a real historical figure. The series continued for nearly 5 decades, from 1909 until 1958, before the design changed to the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in 1959. The 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny was struck at 2 major United States mint facilities, Philadelphia and Denver. Coins produced at the Denver Mint carry the small D mint mark beneath the date on the obverse. The Denver Mint produced more than 1.05 billion pennies in 1957, making it one of the highest mintages in the Wheat Penny series. The mintage was large. These coins remain historically important because they represent one of the final years of the classic wheat reverse design. After 1958, the wheat stock design was retired, making coins from the late 1950s the last examples of this iconic style. Today, collectors often search for well-preserved examples from these final years to complete their Lincoln cent collections. The 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny has several distinctive features that make it recognizable and attractive to collectors. On the obverse side of the coin is the right-facing portrait of President Abraham Lincoln. Above his head appears the national motto, "In God We Trust," while the word "Liberty" is placed to the left of Lincoln's profile. The year 1957 appears to the right, and just below the date you can see the small D mint mark indicating that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The reverse side displays the famous wheat ear design that gave this coin its popular nickname, the Wheat Penny. 2 wheat stalks curve along the left and right edges of the coin, symbolizing prosperity and agricultural strength. In the center are the words 1 cent and United States of America, while the Latin phrase E pluribus unum appears at the top. The coin is made primarily of bronze, consisting of about 95% copper with small amounts of tin and zinc. It has a diameter of about 19 millimeters and a weight of approximately 3.11 grams. The coin shows moderate circulation wear, but most design elements remain clear. Lincoln's portrait is still visible with noticeable details, and the wheat stalks on the reverse remain distinct even though some high points may appear slightly smooth. Because more than 1 billion 1957 pennies were produced, the coin is generally considered common in heavily circulated grades. However, rarity in coin collecting is not only determined by mintage numbers, but also by condition and collector demand. Finding a 1957 penny in pristine condition with full red copper color is far more difficult than finding one that has circulated for decades. Many coins from this year have darkened or developed a brown surface over time due to oxidation. Coins that still retain their bright red mint luster are especially desirable among collectors and can command significantly higher prices. Additionally, collectors actively search for special varieties or mint errors such as repunched mint marks or die errors, which can dramatically increase the value of certain coins. Even though the regular 1957 D penny is common, exceptional examples or unusual varieties can still attract strong interest in the numismatic market. The condition of the coin plays a critical role. A 1957 D Lincoln Wheat Penny in typical circulated condition may only be worth a few cents above its 1 cent face value. Many coins in average circulated condition sell for $72 million at auction, demonstrating how condition can transform a simple penny into a valuable collectible. These auction results remind collectors that even common coins can become valuable when they are exceptionally well preserved or professionally graded by services such as PCGS or NGC. For collectors interested in finding or preserving a 1957 D Lincoln Wheat Penny, there are several important tips to keep in mind. First, always examine the coin carefully for its mint mark and overall condition. The small D below the date confirms that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. Second, pay close attention to the coin's color. Wheat pennies are usually classified as red, red-brown, or brown, with fully red coins generally carrying the highest value among collectors. Third, avoid cleaning the coin. Cleaning can damage the surface and significantly reduce its collectible value. Instead, store the coin in protective holders or coin albums to prevent further wear or corrosion. Finally, if you believe you have a particularly well-preserved or unusual coin, consider having it professionally graded. Certification not only confirms authenticity, but also increases buyer confidence in the coin's condition and value. The 1957 D Lincoln Wheat Penny is a small yet fascinating piece of American coinage history. Although millions were produced and many remain in circulation today, the coin still holds strong appeal for collectors because of its classic wheat design and its place among the final years of the Wheat Penny series. In fine condition, the coin represents an accessible and affordable collectible, while high-grade examples can command impressive prices in the auction market. This humble 1-cent coin reminds us that history can often be found in the smallest places. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced collector, the 1957 D Wheat Penny is a wonderful reminder that even everyday pocket change can become a treasured part of a coin collection. Next up, the 1942 D Lincoln Wheat Penny. At first glance, it may look like a common copper coin that has circulated through many hands over the decades. However, for coin collectors and numismatic enthusiasts, this historic penny represents an important period in American history and can still carry notable value in today's collector market. In this video, we will explore the 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny with a D mint mark in circulated condition. We will look at its historical background, the unique design features of the coin, why collectors continue to search for it, and how certain examples can reach impressive prices at auctions. This small coin proves that even a single penny can hold both historical importance and surprising financial potential. The Lincoln Wheat Penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of the birth of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. It was designed by the famous sculptor Victor David Brenner and became the first regular U.S. coin to feature the portrait of a real historical figure rather than a symbolic design. The Wheat Penny series continued for nearly 50 years, from 1909 until 1958, making it one of the most beloved coin designs in American numismatic history. The 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny was produced during a critical time in American history. The United States had just entered World War II after the events of late 1941, and the nation's economy and industries were shifting toward wartime production. Copper, which was used to produce pennies, became an important material for military equipment and ammunition. Because of this, the U.S. Mint would soon change the composition of the penny in 1943 to zinc-coated steel. This makes the 1942 pennies some of the last traditional bronze cents produced before that historic change. The 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny was struck at the United States Mint facility in Denver, which is represented by the small D mint mark below the date. Millions of these coins were produced, but their connection to wartime history makes them especially interesting for collectors today. The 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny has several distinctive design features that make it easy to recognize. On the front, or obverse, of the coin appears the well-known right-facing portrait of President Abraham Lincoln. Above Lincoln's head is the national motto, "In God We Trust." To the left of his portrait is the word, "Liberty," while the date, 1942, appears to the right. Just beneath the date sits the small D mint mark, indicating that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The coin contains the classic wheat design that gave this coin its nickname, the wheat penny. Two curved wheat stalks frame the edges of the coin, representing American agriculture and prosperity. In the center of the design are the words, 1 cent and United States of America, while the Latin phrase, E pluribus unum, appears at the top. The coin is composed primarily of bronze, made from about 95% copper with small amounts of tin and zinc. It weighs approximately 3.11 grams and has a diameter of about 19 millimeters. Even in circulated condition, many of these coins still display clear details in the wheat stalks and Lincoln's profile, though the highest points may show were after decades of use. The 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny was produced in large numbers. Rarity in the coin collecting world often depends on condition and historical significance rather than mintage alone. Because these coins were widely used in everyday transactions during the 1940s and 1950s, many surviving examples today show significant wear. Finding well-preserved examples with strong details and original color can be much more challenging. Collectors are also especially interested in coins from the early 1940s because they represent the final years before the famous 1943 steel cent experiment. This historical transition makes coins from 1942 particularly appealing to those building a complete wheat penny collection. Another factor that increases demand is the possibility of rare mint errors or exceptional preservation. Some collectors search carefully through circulated coins hoping to discover varieties or unusual striking errors that could dramatically increase a coin's value. Because of these possibilities, the 1942 penny continues to attract attention from collectors around the world. In circulated condition, the 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny usually has a modest value above its 1 cent face value. Many examples sell for $38 million depending on the coin's overall appearance and level of wear. However, coins that retain sharper details or attractive color can command higher prices. When coins from this year are found in uncirculated or mint state condition, their value increases significantly. High-grade examples certified by professional grading services can sell for $72 million at major coin auctions. Exceptional specimens with strong red copper color and minimal imperfections are particularly valuable among collectors. These auction results demonstrate how condition and rarity can transform an ordinary coin into a valuable collectible. Even though the average circulated coin may not be extremely valuable, the possibility of discovering a higher-grade example keeps collectors searching through old pennies. The 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Careful examination is very important. Always check the coin's date and look for the D mint mark beneath the year to confirm it was struck in Denver. Pay close attention to the details in Lincoln's portrait and the wheat stalks on the reverse to evaluate how much wear the coin has experienced. Collectors should also look at the coin's color. Copper coins often change color over time, shifting from bright red to reddish brown or dark brown. While circulated coins are usually darker, Those that retain more of their original luster can be more desirable. It is also very important to avoid cleaning coins. Cleaning may seem like a way to improve the coin's appearance, but it can actually damage the surface and significantly reduce its collector value. Instead, store coins safely in protective holders, coin albums, or archival coin flips to preserve their condition for the future. Finally, if you believe you have a particularly well-preserved example, it may be worthwhile to have the coin professionally graded by a reputable grading service. Certification can help confirm authenticity and make the coin more attractive to potential buyers or collectors. The 1942 Lincoln Wheat Penny is more than just a simple 1-cent coin. It represents a moment in history when the United States was entering a global conflict and preparing to change the composition of its coinage to support the war effort. Its classic wheat design, historical connection, and continued popularity among collectors make it an important part of the Lincoln Cent series. The 1942 penny remains a fascinating collectible that reminds us how everyday coins can carry pieces of history. While many examples may only be worth a small amount above face value, rare high-grade coins have achieved impressive prices in the auction market. For collectors and treasure hunters alike, this humble penny proves that sometimes the most valuable discoveries can be hiding in plain sight. Next up, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny. At first glance, it may appear to be just another old copper penny that has passed through many hands over the decades. However, for numismatists and collectors, this coin represents an important moment in American history and can still hold notable value in the collector market today. In this video, we will explore the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny with a D mint mark in good condition. We will examine its historical background, the distinctive design features that make it recognizable, the reasons behind its demand among collectors, and the potential prices these coins can achieve in the auction market. This humble 1-cent coin reminds us that even the smallest pieces of currency can hold historical significance and unexpected financial value. The Lincoln Wheat Penny was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the birth of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. The coin was designed by the sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose portrait of Lincoln became one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. This series remained in circulation from 1909 until 1958 and became one of the most beloved designs in the history of U.S. coins. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny was minted during a critical period in American history, near the end of World War II. During the war, the United States needed large amounts of copper for military equipment and ammunition. Because of this shortage, the United States Mint produced the famous steel pennies in 1943 using zinc-coated steel instead of copper. However, the steel coins caused several problems in circulation, including confusion with dimes and rapid rusting. As a result, the Mint returned to copper-based coinage in 1944, using recycled brass from spent shell casings collected from military training facilities. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny was struck at the Denver Mint, which is represented by the small D mint mark located below the date on the front of the coin. These wartime pennies are historically significant because they were produced from recycled metal connected to the war effort. This unique background gives the coin a special place in the history of American currency. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny has several distinctive features that make it easily recognizable to collectors. On the obverse side of the coin appears the right-facing portrait of President Abraham Lincoln. Above his head is the famous national motto, "In God We Trust." To the left of the portrait is the word, "Liberty," and to the right appears the year, 1944. Just beneath the date is the small D mint mark, showing that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. The reverse side features the classic wheat ear design that gives the coin its nickname, the Wheat Penny. Two wheat stalks curve along the left and right edges of the coin, symbolizing agricultural strength and prosperity. In the center of the reverse design are the words 1 cent and United States of America, while the Latin motto E pluribus unum appears at the top. The coin is made primarily of copper with small amounts of zinc and tin. It weighs about 3.11 grams and measures approximately 19 millimeters in diameter. In good condition, the coin shows clear signs of circulation. Many fine details may be worn smooth, but the main design elements, including Lincoln's outline and the wheat stalks, are still visible. These signs of wear tell the story of a coin that has been used in everyday commerce for many decades. Although millions of 1944 Lincoln Wheat Pennies were produced, rarity in the coin collecting world often depends more on condition than on mintage numbers. Because these coins circulated heavily during the 1940s and 1950s, many surviving examples today show significant wear. Coins in good condition are common, but they are still important to collectors who want to complete a full wheat penny set. Interest in this coin also comes from its connection to wartime history. The fact that many 1944 pennies were produced using recycled shell casings makes them historically fascinating to collectors and historians alike. In addition, there are rare varieties associated with the year 1944, such as the famous 1944 steel penny error, which occurred when leftover steel planchets from 1943 were accidentally used. Those extremely rare errors have sold for very large amounts at auction, increasing collector interest in all pennies from this year. Because of these historical connections and the possibility of rare varieties, the 1944 wheat penny continues to attract attention from collectors around the world. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny typically has a modest value above its 1 cent face value. Many examples sell for $84 million depending on their appearance and level of wear. However, coins that are better preserved or display more visible details may bring slightly higher prices. The value increases dramatically for coins that remain in uncirculated condition with strong details and original red copper color. High-grade examples that have been professionally graded by respected certification services have sold for $61 million in the auction market. Collectors are especially interested in coins with bright red surfaces and minimal contact marks, as these examples are much harder to find after decades of circulation. These auction results demonstrate how a simple 1 cent coin can become a valuable collectible when preserved in exceptional condition. For collectors searching for a 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny, the first step is carefully checking the coin's date and mint mark. The small D beneath the year confirms that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. It is also helpful to examine the overall condition of the coin, including the clarity of Lincoln's portrait and the visibility of the wheat stalks on the reverse side. Collectors should also pay attention to the coin's color. Copper coins often darken over time, turning from bright red to reddish brown or brown. While circulated coins are typically darker, those that retain more of their original color are generally more desirable. Another important tip is to avoid cleaning the coin. Cleaning can scratch the surface and reduce the coin's value in the collector market. Instead, coins should be stored carefully in protective holders or albums designed specifically for coin preservation. Finally, if a collector believes they have a well-preserved or unusual example, it may be worth submitting the coin for professional grading. Certification can verify the coin's authenticity and condition, which often increases its value and appeal to buyers. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is more than just a simple 1 cent coin. It represents a unique period in American history when the nation was deeply involved in World War II, and even its coinage reflected the needs of the war effort. Made from recycled wartime materials and featuring one of the most iconic designs in U.S. coinage, this penny remains a fascinating collectible for both beginners and experienced numismatists. Even in good condition, the coin holds historical value and remains an important piece for collectors building a complete Lincoln Wheat Penny collection. While many examples may only be worth a small amount above face value, rare high-grade specimens, and unusual varieties have achieved impressive auction prices. This coin reminds us that sometimes the most interesting treasures can be found in the smallest and most ordinary pieces of everyday currency. Next up, the 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark. At first glance, this coin may appear to be a simple copper penny that once circulated through everyday transactions. However, to collectors and numismatic enthusiasts, it represents an important part of American coinage history and can sometimes be worth far more than its face value. In this video, we will explore the 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, examining its historical background, its unique design features, the reasons collectors search for it, and the potential value it can reach in the auction market. This coin proves that even a common one-cent piece can become an interesting collectible and, in certain conditions, a valuable treasure. The Lincoln Wheat Penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of the birth of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. It was designed by the talented sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose portrait of Lincoln became one of the most recognizable designs in American coinage. This coin series remained in circulation from 1909 until 1958 and became one of the longest-running and most popular coin designs in United States history. The 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny was produced during the post-war era, a time when the United States was recovering economically and socially after World War II. Pennies from this year were minted at several facilities operated by the United States Mint. Coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint do not carry a mint mark, which is why the 1949 penny without a mint mark indicates it was produced in Philadelphia. This mint was responsible for producing hundreds of millions of pennies that year to meet the needs of everyday commerce. Although these coins were produced in large numbers, many have been lost, damaged, or heavily worn through decades of circulation. Today, surviving examples provide collectors with a glimpse into mid-20th century American currency and remain an important part of the Lincoln Cent series. The 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark has several distinctive features that make it easily recognizable. On the obverse side, the coin displays the right-facing portrait of President Abraham Lincoln. Above his head is the national motto, "In God We Trust," while the word, "Liberty," appears to the left of the portrait. The date, 1949, is shown to the right. Since this coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, there is no mint mark beneath the date. The reverse side features the famous wheat design that gave this coin its nickname, the Wheat Penny. Two wheat stalks curve upward along the edges of the coin, symbolizing agricultural strength and prosperity in the United States. In the center are the words, 1 cent and United States of America, while the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, appears at the top of the design. The coin is composed primarily of copper, with small amounts of tin and zinc, giving it its distinctive reddish-brown color. It weighs about 3.11 grams and measures approximately 19 millimeters in diameter. Depending on how long the coin circulated, its appearance can range from heavily worn brown surfaces to brighter examples that still retain traces of their original copper luster. The 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark is not considered extremely rare in lower grades. Collector demand remains strong because it is part of the classic Wheat Penny series that ended in 1958. Many collectors aim to build complete sets of these historic coins, which means each date and mint variety remains important. The rarity of the 1949 penny becomes more noticeable when considering condition. Coins that spent many years in circulation often show heavy wear, scratches, and dark surfaces. Finding well-preserved examples with strong details and attractive color is far more challenging. As a result, collectors place much higher value on coins that have survived in better condition. Additionally, collectors often search for special varieties or mint errors from this year. Small differences in the coin strike, die condition, or alignment can create collectible varieties that attract extra attention in the numismatic market. Because of these possibilities, the 1949 penny continues to be carefully examined by collectors and coin hunters. The value of a 1949 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark depends greatly on its condition. Coins that are heavily circulated and worn may only sell for $407,000 depending on their appearance. However, coins that remain in better condition can be worth much more. Examples with sharp details, minimal wear, and attractive color may sell for $407,000. Uncirculated coins that still display their original bright red copper surfaces are especially desirable among collectors. High-grade examples certified by professional grading services have sometimes sold for $407,000 at auction. These results show how dramatically a coin's value can increase depending on its preservation and rarity in higher grades. What begins as a simple 1-cent coin can become a valuable collectible when it survives in exceptional condition. For collectors searching for a 1949 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark, the first step is to carefully check the date and confirm that there is no mint mark below it. This indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. After identifying the coin, collectors should examine the condition closely, paying attention to the details in Lincoln's portrait and the wheat stalks on the reverse. It is also important to observe the coin's color and surface quality. Copper coins can change color over time due to oxidation, and coins that retain more of their original luster are generally more valuable. Collectors should always avoid cleaning coins. Cleaning may seem like a way to improve appearance, but it often damages the coin's surface and lowers its value to collectors. Instead, coins should be stored safely in protective holders, albums, or archival coin flips that help prevent further wear or corrosion. If a collector believes they have a particularly well-preserved coin, it may be worth submitting it to a professional grading service. Professional grading provides authentication and a certified condition grade, which can significantly increase a coin's value and appeal in the collector market. The 1949 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark is a small but meaningful piece of American coinage history. Produced during the post-war years, it reflects a time when the United States was rebuilding and growing after the challenges of World War II. With its classic wheat design and portrait of Abraham Lincoln, this coin remains one of the most recognizable and beloved coins in American numismatics. While many examples are common in circulated condition, the coin still holds strong appeal among collectors, especially those building complete wheat penny collections. Higher-grade examples and rare varieties can command impressive prices at auctions, proving that even a simple 1-cent coin can become a valuable collectible. For coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters alike, the 1949 Lincoln Wheat penny reminds us that hidden treasures can often be found in the most ordinary places. Next up, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark. At first glance, this coin may appear worn, dark, or even rusty after decades of circulation. However, for many collectors, such coins still hold historical importance and sometimes unexpected value in the numismatic market. In this video, we will explore the 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark, even in rusty or heavily circulated conditions. We will discuss its historical background, its unique design features, its popularity among collectors, and how certain examples of this coin can still reach impressive prices in auction markets. This humble copper coin reminds us that history and hidden value can sometimes be found in the most ordinary pocket change. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series began in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the birth of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. The coin was designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose portrait of Lincoln became one of the most recognizable images ever used on American currency. The wheat penny design remained in production until 1958, making it one of the longest-running and most beloved coin series in United States history. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny was produced during the final years of World War II, a time when materials were extremely important for military production. In 1943, the United States Mint famously switched from copper pennies to steel pennies coated with zinc in order to conserve copper for wartime equipment and ammunition. However, the steel since created several problems in circulation because they rusted easily and were often confused with dimes. Because of these issues, the mint returned to copper-based pennies in 1944. Many of these coins were actually made using recycled brass from spent military shell casings collected from training facilities. The 1944 penny without a mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint in Philadelphia, which traditionally did not place a mint mark on its coins during that time period. This wartime background makes the 1944 penny an especially interesting piece of American history. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark has several distinctive features that make it easy to recognize. On the obverse, or front side of the coin, you will see the right-facing portrait of President Abraham Lincoln. Above his head is the national motto, "In God We Trust." To the left side of Lincoln's portrait appears the word, "Liberty," while the year, 1944, is displayed on the right. Because this coin was produced in Philadelphia, there is no mint mark beneath the date. The reverse side features the classic wheat design that gave the coin its popular nickname, the wheat penny. Two wheat stalks curve along the edges of the coin, representing American agriculture and prosperity. In the center of the reverse design are the words, 1 cent and United States of America. At the top of the coin is the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, which means, out of many, one. The coin is primarily made of copper, with small amounts of zinc and tin, giving it its reddish color when newly minted. Over time, however, many coins have darkened or developed corrosion due to age, moisture, and environmental exposure. In rusty or heavily circulated condition, the coin may appear dark brown or rough, but the main design elements often remain visible. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark was produced in large numbers, so it is not extremely rare in lower grades. However, collectors remain highly interested in coins from this year because of their connection to World War II and the transition from steel cents back to copper coins. Another factor that increases collector demand is the existence of extremely rare error coins from the same year. A few 1944 pennies were accidentally struck on leftover steel planchets from 1943. These rare 1944 steel pennies are among the most famous and valuable error coins in American history and have sold for very large amounts at auction. Because of this possibility, collectors often examine every 1944 penny carefully. Even regular copper 1944 pennies can become valuable when they are found in exceptional condition or with unusual mint errors. This keeps collectors interested in searching through old coin collections and rolls of pennies for hidden treasures. The value of a 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark depends heavily on its condition. In rusty or heavily circulated condition, the coin is usually worth only a few cents above its 1 cent face value. Many such examples may sell for $4 million. Uncirculated examples that still display their original red copper color can command significantly higher prices. Some high-grade specimens certified by professional grading services have sold for $4 million in major coin auctions. The rare 1944 steel cent error coins are among the most valuable pennies ever discovered, with some examples selling for $4 million. While these are extremely rare, their existence adds excitement and curiosity to every 1944 penny that collectors examine. For collectors interested in the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, the first step is to carefully check the date and confirm that there is no mint mark below it. This indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Even if the coin appears rusty or worn, it may still be worth examining closely. Collectors should also pay attention to the coin's weight and color. A normal copper 1944 penny weighs about 3.11 grams. If a coin from this year appears silver in color and weighs less, it could potentially be the rare steel error coin. Such coins should always be checked by professional experts. It is also important to avoid cleaning old coins. Cleaning can damage the surface and significantly reduce the coin's collector value. Instead, coins should be stored carefully in protective holders or coin albums to prevent further damage. If a collector believes they have discovered an unusual example or a well-preserved coin, submitting it for professional grading and authentication can help determine its true value in the collector market. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark is a small, but historically significant coin that reflects an important moment in American history. Produced during the final years of World War II and made from recycled wartime materials, it carries a story that connects everyday currency to a global historical event. Even in rusty or circulated condition, this coin remains an interesting collectible for numismatists and history enthusiasts. While many examples are common, certain high-grade coins and rare errors have achieved impressive prices in auctions. This simple 1-cent coin reminds us that hidden history and unexpected value can often be found in the smallest pieces of currency. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed learning about these rare and valuable Lincoln Wheat Penny coins, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more fascinating stories about rare coins that could be worth big money. Coin collecting is full of surprises, and sometimes the smallest coins can hold the greatest value. Keep checking your old coins, because you never know when you might discover a hidden treasure. See you in the next video.